Reggae interviews. Word sound power.
This is DJ 745 for Reggae Interviews here. We are sitting beside reggae royalty, a living legend, the queen of reggae, Sister Marcia Griffiths, or Auntie Marcia. I want to give thanks for you sharing a few moments of your time today whilst you're here touring in Germany.
Well, I just want to thank you for having me. And right here in Germany, I am just enjoying the best of everything that God has provided.
I think that it's such a blessing that you're still touring, you're still seeing the world, almost entering 6 decades in music next year.
Yes, it is undoubtedly a blessing. It's more than a blessing for me to be, still here, still able to keep up with this generation, sharing stage with this generation, and I don't feel a day over 30.
Well, I think that you're looking so well. You're certainly enjoying what you're doing. We can see, and this year, 2023, we are celebrating a really important milestone in your rich career. It is 40 years from the time of you originally singing a song that has even generated a dance craze across the world. You know the song that I'm talking about.
Yes, the Electric Boogie. Yeah.
Now, when we look at a song like the Electric Boogie, there are lots of different, almost like interpretations of how the song was recorded, who sang what first, and the different versions. And I think today, I just want you to break down the sequence of how things happen. Now, I have to give thanks to Mr. Copeland Forbes, who has highlighted some of the important contributors to the various versions, but I think it's important that we hear from yourself exactly how that song came about.
No matter how many versions you hear, the original version and the very first version, the conception of the song was done by me, written by Wailer. In 1983 it was released, and this whole thing came about when I performed. I3, Judy, Rita and myself, we performed in Canada, and of course a male-dominated business, so they can give us all kind of hard luck story. We never got paid. Each of us got 700 Canadian dollars, and I took my $700 and I was walking downtown the following day, went in the store, and I saw this rhythm box, like a keyboard. And the man who worked in the store was showing me the different sounds and the different beats that it had. It had every kind of beat, bossa nova, cha-cha, name it. And a keyboard, a Hawaiian, everything was there. And I loved it. I invested in that box. I bought that rhythm box, took it home, and I started fiddling around with it, and I found a sound on it called the repeater. Excuse me. It's the piano playing a repeating sound, but it was so sweet. So I found a beat, a one-drop beat, poof, puff, poof, puff, and then I added the repeater sound to this beat, and it sounded perfect. It was like a song already. So of course Bonnie and I go way back from kindergarten days, and he used to visit me regular and bring fruits from his vineyard in Portland for me. So I showed him this box, and I said, Bonnie, look at this box, listen to the sound. And I showed him what I personally discovered on the rhythm box, and he loved it as well. So he recorded the beat with the repeater sound, and he added some claps to it, to the beat and everything. I have all that sound recorded. And he took it to Portland and came back the following day, believe it or not, with the song.
Wow.
And we went straight in the studio. We called in Sly and what's his name? From one of the Brownie, the bass man. And we went in the studio and overdub on what we had.
Originally,
We never erased anything. We kept that foundation.
Right.
And before I knew it, the rhythm was so fat because he used the same keyboard rhythm box to add 11 different keyboard parts to the song.
Okay.
So it was so fat, and then the claps got fatter and everything. When I listened back to everything, I couldn't believe it. And I was learning the song in the meantime. The song he came back with, "You Can't See It." It was a simple, happy song, easy to learn. So I put a rough voice down, and it was so nice. And I ended up doing a proper voice on the song. And the song was released in '83, and it went straight to the #1 spot in December.
In Jamaica.
In Jamaica.
Okay.
Chris Blackwell, before it was even released, he heard the song and he loved it. And he came to Jamaica and said, "I want that song." And by this time, it was an album that we ended up doing, Bonnie and myself. And Chris wanted the entire album because, you know, he was saying that big companies don't release singles. They have to do albums. And for some unknown reason, Bonnie didn't give him the album. And he took the song, Electric Boogie, and he really wanted the album. So I don't think he had any interest in doing the single. So he took it, and it was just there, even though it was always going as the Electric Boogie. The song was there until the entire decade of the 80s. And then every now and again I'd hear from Chris, and Chris say, "You know what is selling, and I'm not even promoting it? Electric Boogie." It was big in the Bahamas and Amsterdam, those places, you know. And they were doing the Michael Jackson dance then. You know, the slide.
Yes.
But 1989 now, same song, one and only song, same song. I was on the West Coast on Sunsplash tour when I got a call from Dr. Dredd from Ras Records, and he said, "Marcia, you're gonna be," and he used some harsh words, "you're gonna be big like Whitney Houston because your song just busts and they have a dance to it, and it's the biggest thing in Washington, D.C." I wouldn't even imagine what he was talking about until the tour got to Washington.
DC.
And when I saw what was happening, I was forced to learn the dance quickly before I go on stage and perform the song.
I guess that all the people that were following that song over the years
And of course,
were insistent that you had to perform it.
yes, of course, it was summertime and everybody was on holiday. So this is how the song, I think, started spreading to all the different states. 'Cause whoever went back to their whatever state, they took the dance and the record and everything back. And
Carried it back.
yes,
Yeah.
that's how it started spreading. So when I found out what was happening, I said, "Oh my God, this is the biggest thing I've ever seen." And then I am saying, where did this come from? And the whole audience was just doing the electric slide, and the song kept getting bigger and bigger. I did interviews, I did CBS, I did BET, I did almost every major
Right, okay.
television thing. I did interviews about this one song because it was so big. You know, I went on CBS in the morning and I couldn't believe what was happening so fast. So we contacted Chris Blackwell and tell him what was happening, because I'm wondering if he knew how the song had gotten big. So when he called the record company, they admitted and said, yes, the song has been selling like, you know, crazy. And he was so upset with them because he's saying that nobody said anything to him, that the song was really doing so good. And he got on it right away, and all my intention was to find Bonnie, to break the good news to Bonnie, to say, Bonnie, let's do a video right now to capitalize on this opportunity, you and I, because he's a part of the song, because he's rapping on the song. Dig Miss Kelly with electric belly, she's moving. That's what. So I said, once we find Bunny, we can do the video and everything is good. Only to be searching and calling all over the place. Can't find Bunny nowhere. Until I went to Jamaica, I left the US now. So sad and disappointed, and I said, my God, this big opportunity, I'm going to miss out on it. So I went to Jamaica to perform on Sunsplash, I think it was. And I think Copeland and I were driving down South Avenue the day, and we saw Bunny's car.
Okay.
Parked up in Media Mix, one of those places that they do music. So I was so happy and relieved. I said, let's go in there, Bunny is there. So I am going in there so excited now to tell Bunny, because I'm sure Bunny don't know anything. Only to go inside, when I pushed the door, Bunny was doing a video of the song. Bunny already heard that the song bus, and they had a dance to the song. Bunny went in the studio, re-record the song that he wrote for me, and he was now doing the video. I don't know if I should cry, I just wanted to disappear. I was so disappointed. I said, oh my God. I walked out of that place and never said a thing to him.
I mean, yourself and Jabby go back a long way because you were all school friends. And what must have gone through your mind to know that there is a second version that's been recorded without your input?
I was disappointed. I was shocked. It was unbelievable that Bunny would do something like that without even consulting me, to be just like how I'm looking for him to be a part of it. I thought the first thing he would do the same. Find me and say, let's do a video.
Obviously, in your mind today, why do you think that Bunny decided to re-record the song by himself? I know that he is no longer with us to be able to give his interpretation, but you must have spoken to Bunny about this in later years.
Yes, I don't know why he did it. He heard that the song was so big that, he just wanted to I think that was selfish. I don't think that was nice.
No.
That was not nice at all, It was this, and I said, well, there goes my opportunity. So I just dropped everything and I was just doing my own thing. And then Chris Blackwell said, no. And Danny Sims said, don't lose this opportunity. Capitalize on it. Do something about it, because your version, the original one, that the people knows.
Yeah.
So when we spoke to Chris said he had an idea. And he said, since Bunny went ahead and recorded over the song, so that was the second version now,
Okay.
The one Bunny did. Because the one he wrote for me that I record, that's the original first song. And I'm saying, where do we go from here, since Bunny did something like that? And Chris suggested that I re-record the song. So he called the Miami Sound Machine Band, and they were now called the Jerks, and arranged for me to come in and record the song exactly. And so many different people were interviewed, were auditioned to do that rap part that Bunny did. Dig Miss Kelly with electric, and nobody was qualified. Even Copeland himself tried it. So they suggested that instead of doing that part the same way, I could do a fast rap on it, which is what I did. Instead of doing that, dig Miss Kelly, I said, dig the Mr. Kelly with the bubbling electric belly, she's a moving along. So that's how we ended up doing that part. So the song came out and boom. And I want to tell you something further, Copeland will tell you. We even took Bunny Wailer's version and everywhere we went, we gave it to radio station promoting it.
Okay. This is the version 2.
Yes. And nobody knew it and they didn't accept it. So you see, anything that you don't do in I don't know, it didn't happen. My song supersede the other version that Bunny did. And I didn't make any effort. The one that we went in with the jerks and that's the version that went in the Billboard charts.
So tell me, who was behind the It's Electric on version 3?
Well, it was my nephew, Copeland's son, and the two other guys who produced the song.
Right, okay.
Maybe about 5 or 6 man voice doing that. Yeah.
Okay. And as we started out the reasoning by saying that, it's inspired generations of people all across the world to continue to follow that dance move as well. You must feel very proud.
Of course, because I always prayed to be able to, through the medium of the music, I always wanted to, I never had any doubt that I was chosen to be on a mission from God to unite the world through music. So when I stand on stage and I watch 80,000, 100,000 people coming together through my song, I can't find the words to explain the feeling that I get from this. And you don't need no partner. It was such a wonderful feeling. It's like my soul was touched. When I see something like that, it moves me. So, I can't find the adjective to describe what something like that did to me.
Well, I want to give thanks to you for sharing that story. So you're the original singer of the Electric Boogie, and it was written by Bunny Wailer back in 82, 83. Bunny Wailer re-recorded a version himself in 89, but it was the version that you did with the Miami Sound Machine, which is the one that I think today everybody listens to, and that is the one. That's the one.
That's the one.
Okay.
That's the one.
That's the one. Well, I'm glad that we've got a chance to, just put this on the record, because
and so many people have it twisted and wrong about me recording Bunny's song and all that. It's so silly. I am the first person to record that song, written by Bunny. And the second version was done in 89 by Bunny when the song bust big time in Washington. And he wanted to just capitalize on that opportunity. And I even helped to promote it, but it just didn't happen. And when I went and recorded over the song, just to make sure I capitalize on this big opportunity, because my version was the version that they knew and made the dance from.
And I guess that maybe within your heart you had a better intention of what to do.
Exactly. My heart was, all intentions were good and clean and pure. So it's always good over evil, as far as I'm concerned. So that's why I always have to do good.
True. Well, look, I want to give thanks for your time today, just sharing the story of the Electric Boogie.
Yeah, and another thing that I cannot imagine, that song was done like the work of God. We never got paid, right? We 3 sisters, we never get paid. And the little money that I got, the 700 Canadian dollars, which is like about 500 US, and I invested it. God gave me a song from that investment. So everything was done in purity, in all good faith. And now, out of nowhere, some demonic force would come up and start spreading rumor on social media, that asking questions about if they know that Electric Boogie was written from vibrator and all those things. Neither Bunny Wailer or myself never knew what those things were. We are clean and pure of those corruption. We don't know a vibrator. And Bunny came out and said that what inspired him to write that song was Eddie Grant's Electric Avenue. But people just want attention. They want notice, and they'll go to any extreme to get attention. It's so sad. And using good, clean, pure things. Nothing like that. Nothing like that.
Which is why I feel it's so important to document the true story behind the music. So, we give thanks for you sharing that story today with our viewers.
Yes, it's one truth I know. One truth, one love. And it's God's truth. And if you tell it 1,000,000 times, it's the same way you're going to hear it. And thank God I'm not senile. And I remember every moment of everything that happened.
Well, look, we give thanks once again, and we're also looking forward to seeing Naomi Cowan playing yourself in the upcoming One Love movie in 2024 as well. So we're looking forward to that as well.
That's interesting. That's very interesting, yeah.
A closing message to all the people that have followed not just your music, but the music of many of your friends in the music industry.
Well, it's one thing I'll continue to say as long as I live. The music is not just entertainment. The most important thing in the music is the message. And this is the reason why God calls upon singers and players, because of the message that the music carries, to unite, to teach, to educate, to uplift. So my message will continue to be, remember, the message in the music is what we are bringing. Please, we don't want the message falling on deaf ears. We want this generation especially, who needs so much guidance. We want them to receive the message so we can make a better world. The music is our greatest weapon that we have, and we can use this weapon in a positive way.
Auntie Marcia, thank you so much. And I also want to say thanks to Copeland for helping to put this together as well, and to your management team as well.
Yes.
One love.
Thank you for having me. I shall sing as long as I live.
Reggae interviews. Word sound power.